When I was living in the US, I quite frankly never thought that I would ever have been able to leave the US and live abroad. I mean, this was something that kids did, college students did, maybe people in the military or, people within government roles, but living abroad as a citizen, as a civilian, was just not something I thought that I could do. And with that, I kind of felt stuck. I hear from a lot of people that are feeling this sentiment as well. And while, yes, I had a great life, I was financially successful, professionally successful, had all the things that one says you should have as an American, I still wasn't really happy. I mean, I wasn't okay with the blatant racism, police brutality, and all of the things around me that was making it feel like there was such a ceiling there, right? While I practice a lot of mindset work, I still felt like I'm in a society that structurally just isn't the best suited for me as a Black woman. And in this video, I want to give you a couple of reasons why you might be feeling this same way too. And you're not only are you not alone, you are not crazy, and there is life on the other side. So if you don't know me, my name is Ashley. On my channel, Ashley in Africa, I talk about my experience living on the continent. I live in Johannesburg, South Africa. This is my second country that I've lived in here on the continent. First, I lived in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and now I'm here in South Africa. I'm also the founder and creator of the Afrika Investors Academy, which is a membership-only community of investors and entrepreneurs that are building their businesses, growing their businesses here on the continent, and investing in projects. So if this content sounds interesting to you, please be sure to like this video, share it with someone who would find value in it, and also subscribe to the channel. We're growing. Luckily nowadays, there's content out there being created by other Black American creators like our Black Utopia, Stephanie Perry, Rashida Dow, the Exodus Summit. There's so much content being produced by specifically Black women or Black families to say, hey, this is something that you can do. I encourage you to share and, review that content. I'll be sure to leave a couple links below because it's showing people, it's showing you, my story is showing you, hopefully, and inspiring you that you can also do this too. And I have a couple notes and I want to just make sure that I cover them because you're not crazy, right? There are things happening in the US that might have you feeling like you're stuck. And the first one of them is government. Right? Bureaucracy, government, the policies that have been created that are saying this craziness is not okay. Case in point, things around gun violence. I mean, the fact that America has more mass shootings than they have days. This is like insanity. But somehow the government is totally compliant and unwilling to curb gun legislation. There are countries around this globe that have had an instance of something that has threatened their community, their constituents, their people, and they were like, no, we're not having that. No more guns allowed outside of these really strict rules and regulations, and they curbed it. And America could do the same, but it hasn't. And I think every time something crazy happens in the country, people rally around each other, people share how it's ridiculous and it's not normal, but it is. They share their heartbreak, they share their sorrow, they share their anxiety, and so does government, by the way, but nothing changes, right? And so you feel like you're in this loop of insanity, because that's what it is. And you feel like you're stuck. Like, how do I get out of this? Like, this is a revolving door of violence and chaos that's happening around me and nothing can be done. Well, something can be done, right? You have to then make a choice. And I know it's hard, right? I know it's hard. I know another one of the things is quality of life. I was listening to a podcast today. One of my favorite creators, Shetty, and Kim Kardashian, right? She was sharing her stories of horror of what it's like being a mother and how she cries herself to sleep every night. And while this is a woman of esteemed privilege, a woman who is a billionaire, she's also very much supported in the sense that she has a tight-knit family, but she's a single mom. She is a divorcee. And while, yes, I'm sure she has help, she still feels an immense amount of pressure around working nonstop and doing it all by herself. And this is the plight of many women. Outside of just the fact that she's got all of this privilege, she's still feeling like she's got to cry herself to sleep at night. And I will say that as a mother in America, there are just so many concerns, whether it's sending your children to school, whether it's birthing and getting medical care, whether it's like having your child act up in a public place and feeling like you can't really reprimand them or discipline them for fear of somebody calling an organization that could potentially take your children away, right? These type of things around, quality of life as a mother, it's just, it's like society's way of keeping us again in this loop of insanity. I will say that I also felt this, right? I also felt this severe pressure of overperforming at work, overperforming as a mom, overperforming as a partner in a relationship, overperforming as a daughter, overperforming as an aunt, as a cousin, as a niece, like being able to be that superwoman, as a friend, like for everybody. And I burnt out. I was in this constant loop of insanity that just isn't real. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. This idea that you have to work, do all of the things, and then maybe get 2 days off a week, which not really, because everybody's so like goes nuts on Sunday, or, you can work those 40 hours a week, save up for that vacation time. You're only going to get 2 weeks of vacation. And if you're a senior level executive and you negotiate it properly, maybe you get 4. But no one ever takes their full vacation, right? Because the quality of life is contingent upon you working nonstop. And it's a loop of insanity. Is this resonating? I hope this is making sense. If so, please be sure to like the video. The next thing is the food quality. The food quality, everyone knows it. Again, it's like this loop of insanity, right? We talk about the things, the toxic chemicals that are in the food. There is no way that people in the US do not know that many of the ingredients used to produce food that we eat every day in America, or you guys eat every day in America, is illegal, right? So things like the BVOs, the brominated vegetable oils, the RBGHs, hormones, basically, the GMOs, the artificial flavoring, the artificial coloring. These things, so many of these things are illegal in countries outside of the US. And so these things are having dramatic effects on our health, on your health. Cancer is the highest it's ever been in America, ever. Cancer, and like these random forms of cancer. People are getting sick. Children, adolescents, adults, and people are dying from these rarest forms of cancer, not only because of food, but the food quality has to be a huge issue. And again, it's like, we know these things. We know the fact that sugar contents very high or salt contents that are very high lead to high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes. Somehow, we're still eating it. You're still in this loop of saying, well, I love to eat. I'm a foodie. I'm a this. And like just kind of being influenced to continue to do the things that we know are better, or to do the things that we know aren't best for us when there are better options, right? The next thing is the financial traps. So, whether you're paying rent that is gone sky high through the roof. Most rents are up 15 to 20% in many metropolitan cities. Mortgages, people being forced to refinance because obviously the cost of the dollar has gone down. So people are trying to refinance to get equity out of their home. Stock prices are going down and interest rates are going up. And so these type of financial challenges are essentially making people feel like they don't have enough. Thus, they have to work more. Thus, the quality of their life goes down. Thus, they're rushing to eat foods that aren't good for them. Thus, they're feeding in and kind of not even paying attention to the policy changes that are happening around that are basically making this circle go round. And the last thing is misinformation. We're so misinformed as Americans about the rest of this world. We have been told, we have been educated to believe that America is the best country in the world. It's the safest country in the world. It's the most powerful country in the world. And everybody wants to be in America. Well, the truth is people are leaving America. People have been leaving America. And you can always return to America if that is what feels great to you. And quite frankly, America has been a great country to live in. It is a great country that I was born into. The amount of privilege and access that I got as American and that I continue to have today is something I will not trade in for the world. I just don't want to live there. And I no longer feel stuck that I have to as an American citizen. And so I invite you to consider what life could look like for you outside of America. So if this video resonated with you, again, please be sure to like it and sign up for my free email list below via the link below. Just get on my email list. You can start to get information from me directly that I don't share publicly on YouTube about the advantages of living abroad, how to take your money further, how to explore a better quality of life where you can work part-time earning the same amount of money, where you as a mother can get full support to raise your children as well, where you can live in a society where weekends are really weekends. In fact, they start at Fridays at noon. Okay, and they don't pick back up till Monday at 8 a.m. Some people 10, where holidays are months long, where you're able to have a life, where you're able to eat food that's natural, where you're able to have a sense of medicine from nature, whether that's getting out in the sun, spending time with friends and family, eating better, sleeping better, taking natural hikes, being in an environment that is supportive of the type of life that you want to live, and in progressive societies where the government isn't perfect, but it's actually not trying to restrict you from learning what you may want to learn, from experiencing what you may want to experience, and essentially living a safe life, a life of safety, right? And so if that sounds interesting to you, please be sure to subscribe to my newsletter, and I'll send you free information a couple of times a week where you can opt in or opt out to learn more about how an abroad life could be something that you choose. I hope this was helpful. Until the next video, I'll see you soon.